you shouldn't be a serial entrepreneur. And I'm thinking, why not? Mainly because I want to create streams of income that will bring in income, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
That will help me make the money that I need to get to the point I want to be in my life.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing is that sometimes people don't understand that. They look at me and I go, when do you find the time to write? And I go, I make the time. I put it on my calendar. I scheduled it.
Yeah.
And I tell them, yeah, I have these businesses. How are you doing? I make the time. If you want to 10x your money, you have to increase your efforts to make money. It's not just going to come at you. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I love the fact that you're talking about creating streams of income that will help you increase your money. What would you suggest to entrepreneurs in regards to figuring out the streams of income that they can create?
Well, and I really look at this, it's for every single person, it's going to be different. You know, like I have some clients, they love one-on-one work, love it. And when you're not working with someone one-on-one, then you're not making money. So how do you go on vacation? You know, what do you do? And so you want to be really looking at how to leverage your knowledge, how to leverage your experience. And that could be podcasting. I mean, there's so many different possibilities. But at the end of the day, I want you to really get clear about like what actually lights you up. Because if someone's saying, well, this is the way, and you try to fit yourself into that formula because you see it works for somebody else, and everything in your soul is like, gosh, do I really have to do this? And there's a difference between resistance because you're in your own dang way and something that's just not aligned for you. And that is the thing. Like if there was nothing else that people got from our conversation today, is to recognize that difference. And it's different for every single person. But I see so many people go, oh, I'm uncomfortable. That's a sign that I shouldn't do it. Or that's a sign that you are absolutely should do. And I hate shoulds because that is where your biggest growth is. So just because it's uncomfortable doesn't necessarily mean that it's incongruent or out of alignment with you. And so as far as, leveraging your income is just really be looking at how can I leverage my knowledge? How can I leverage my expertise? Where can I share it with other people's communities, other people's, lists, masterminds? I'm just making up a couple of examples. But there are other people that already have platforms. So where can you contribute to those platforms instead of creating your platform yourself, which is, could be a great thing. But I really take a look at that. There's always a way to leverage your expertise. And then here's the final piece with that is the thing that comes so easy to you is the thing that you are going to probably discount the most. Like, oh, everybody knows that. No, actually, they don't.
Everybody does it. Yep.
They don't know that. And that's why you're so brilliant, is because it's so easy for you. It's like breathing. And so sometimes you don't see your own nose. You've got to have somebody mirror that back to you of like, do you know that you're really brilliant at this? And you're probably going to resist it and go, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You don't want to charge that much for it. That's the kind of thinking that is going to keep you stuck and keep you like the best kept secret, right?
Yes. I think the biggest thing and the hardest thing is that some people can't see the forest for the trees.
Hello, that's me. Like I don't see my own stuff. It's why I have coaches and mentors. Like
things that come easy to you. And I actually have a book that I wrote, Your Passionate Business, that actually helps people step through 4 steps that help them to learn what they can be create a business they can be passionate about that involves the things that they like to do. Like, for instance, I have them start with a list of, I tell them, okay, make a list of 20 things. And then now cultivate that list into down to 10. Now think of, from that 10, through each step, I have them whittle down the list until they get to 2 of those things they love to do that they can put together as a business. So, for instance, if you have a lawyer who loves to write, that is something they're passionate about. They want to write books. Become an author that writes about legal, topics.
Yeah.
Or become a suspense writer or a thriller writer. You can even become a romance writer. For instance, I write paranormal romances. I love reading them, so I write them. I have 9 published under my pen name. And so I think as entrepreneurs, we have to get out of this box of, I can do only one thing at a time. I'm not telling you to multitask. I'm just encouraging entrepreneurs to duplicate themselves. And the reason why I talk about duplicating themselves, that means you need to outsource.
Yes.
And that's something I want to get in today because it's part of you growing your money.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you talked about this.
I was getting ready to ask you, can you talk to the fact about outsourcing being a key way that you can grow your business?
Yeah. You've got to delegate stuff. And I remember very clearly when I knew that I needed help and I was like, there is no money to pay a person. I'm barely getting by right now. Like what? Like this is crazy. And so it's that chicken or the egg first, like the horse before the cart. Like, what do I do? And here I will tell you this. And I hate when people told me this is you have to choose it first and the resources show up. Every time I've hired somebody, I've had that freak out moment of like, oh, I don't want to be responsible for somebody's salary. What if I just want to move to Mexico tomorrow? Like I want freedom. I want choices. I don't want to be tied down to anything. And so it's really important to find team members that, again, that coming back to that accountability of they're accountable for them. But if somebody is relying on me to make sure they have a paycheck, then they have an employee mindset. And I know this offends some people. I'm just going to go there anyway, versus an entrepreneur mindset. So I specifically hire entrepreneurs who have their own business because they are creators. I don't want them to be dependent. There's an energetic debt that happens when they are just looking at me to be their source of money versus, wait, I'm the creator of my reality. And money has come through this person and that client and that opportunity, but they have a creator mindset. So I look for that energetic quality with people and it makes me feel better about investing in that. And then the other thing too is, here has been my biggest growing pain with hiring a team is it requires me to be more accountable. I have to be organized. I'm leading people. I'm leading a vision of my business. I'm leading myself and I'm leading this team. And so if I'm not organized and I'm the bottleneck all the time, which is pretty much the norm and, daily, how can I expect people to excel? Yes. If I'm not giving them the space and the resources and the systems and the organization for them to excel and be brilliant at what they do. So we could talk for hours about this, but delegate, find that one person. And I joke about it. I'm like, just find a virtual assistant who's maybe $25, $35 an hour, hire them for 5 hours a month. You can bake cookies and sell them to your neighbors if you were that committed and dedicated, and to pay for that person because it's going to free up so much of your time. And especially when entrepreneurs who are having tech issues or, oh my gosh, the opt-in isn't connected to my thing. And I'm like, why is this even an issue? This would take someone 10 minutes to figure out, and you have not moved forward in your business for weeks because you are not willing to pay for it or learn it yourself.
Man, I love outsourcing. And you have to also think, I believe, when it comes to outsourcing, it's more than just hiring a VA to me. Outsourcing is, some people laugh when I say this, I outsource my house cleaning. It's cheaper for me to hire someone to clean my house than for me that gets paid a lot more an hour to clean my house. So I have a housekeeper come in once a week. If that's what it takes for you to have some more freedom in your life to grow your business, hire a housekeeper. I go to the same website whenever I need one, and I have them on a regular schedule. They come in, they do all the cleaning. I don't even wash dishes during the week. It's just me in my home, so I can get away with that. I put all my dirty dishes, I rinse them, put them in one sink. She comes in, put them in a dishwasher, run the dishwasher, unload it, put everything. you have to have systems of organization in your home so that you can be freed. If you
Yeah.
have to worry about grocery shopping, online grocery shopping is there for you. Some places
Mm-hmm.
even deliver. So
Yep.
it's cheaper for me to pay for delivery than it is for me to pay for my housekeeper to go shop grocery shopping for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think of these things that are cost savings, but at the same time, give you your time back to
Right.
grow your business.
Yep.
What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, no, I totally agree. And, and I remember hiring our first housekeeper, and I was scared about that too. Every time I hired somebody, I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yes.
hang on. I don't know. What am I
I
doing?
need to clean before my housekeeper gets here.
Well, and it was such a trip. Because I work from my home office, and so the housekeeper would be cleaning, and I'm just like, this is so weird. I'm sitting in here working on stuff. They're cleaning my house, and for
Mhm.
me, it was, am I willing to receive? Am I willing to receive this
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
support? Is it
Yeah.
okay for me as, the woman of the household, all the upbringing, I'm not even willing to clean my own house, and the judgment that other people have about that. And it was like, so that it wasn't even about the money.
Yeah.
It was about, wow, am I willing to actually receive this kind of support for for something I can absolutely
Yeah.
do. Right. And
Yeah.
so it's a mixed bag of your mindset. Yes, the affordability, but it keeps coming back to, what do you choose? It's a
Yes.
choice first, and then the resources, they do show up. And this is about, not going gangbusters, with anything to prove, like, oh, I'm going to prove how, how much team I have or how I can delegate. It's not about
No,
proving energy. It's like,
no, it's not.
are you willing to receive that kind of support from people who know more than you, people who
Thank
are
you.
smarter than you are?
Okay, and I want to share this too. Just because I can do marketing, just because I can do social media, just because I can build a website, just
Yeah.
because I can, doesn't mean I have to do it. And
Yeah.
that's something that I had to get to the point of, because when I released that attitude and I hired people who could do those things and it was their thing to do, man, the freedom. I was writing books, I
Um,
was growing my business. But then when I took those things back on, it became like this heavy burden was, pushing me down. And I finally had to go, okay, Kim, you either got to let it go and your business grow, or you take it on and your business becomes stagnant.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I made that decision that I will always have someone handling different things within my business so that it will give me the freedom to create a podcast and grow it, or write another book and grow
Yeah.
it. Like I just released, well, it's in pre-order right now, but on 31st, my book launches, Creative
Oh,
Introverted
cool.
Entrepreneur on March 31st. So I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to that book launching because I've had a couple of the women I interviewed to actually add chapters to the book. It's a
Mhm.
book that I revamped and updated and added more content to it so that it's more current.
Mhm.
And I'm launching it on the March 31st. And I think the biggest thing with entrepreneurs that you are bringing today is the knowledge that it's okay to outsource. It's okay to grow
Mhm.
your business. It's okay to be able to, what's the word? Receive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I want to go back to something you shared, and I'm so glad you've talked about your book and your pen name, and being a serial entrepreneur. I call it a multifaceted or multi-passionate entrepreneur, and
Love that.
I was judged for so long from mentors I paid a lot of money to that said, Angela, you just need to focus on one thing. You are too all over the place. My humanitarian work that I love to do, and I have my art that I love to do, and I have this, and all the things that I love to do. And they're like, no, you just need to pick one thing. And here's what happened when I did, because I thought, well, they're making millions of dollars. They know better. My income would plummet within 90 days of focusing on one thing. I was so bored, and I thought, whoa, this is reminding me of high school and college, and why I hated it was,
Uh-huh.
I was like, this, I can't just do one thing. What, like, pick one thing? You want me to major in one thing and do that the rest of my life? That sounds Like, no, the answer is no. And so be willing to honor the creative passion. And, the other thing, cause I went like from that extreme to I'm going to do everything. And then I went back to that extreme.